Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly update for October 22nd, 2023. So this was a fair reading week. I don't think I overread or underread. Like, it was like I got through 4 things. One of them was a manga, but most of them were a couple long books, kind of longish. Well, all of them were kind of longish books, not super long, but it just took more time, and and again, I've started a lot of books and I'm in a weird reading, like what I feel like yesterday and today, like I don't know what I'm going to read after I film this, because I'm in the middle of a book that I knew I might not enjoy it. I wasn't sure, and I'm halfway through it and I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue, and I'd hate to DNF it after I'm halfway through, and it's a book from a series, but we will see. So beyond that, nothing is going on. I am starting to I'm starting to plan what I might write for National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. I do this every year. I have for, many years. I can't think how many years. It's like 17 or so years. So I'm literally looking forward to 16 or 17. I think I'm at 17 this year. So this, I haven't been writing at all this year. So this is hopefully going to be my kick in the butt to get back into writing. I have been trying to get myself in that mode, but I haven't let myself start writing because I'm afraid if I do anything too early, then I won't have anything for November. So I am starting to plot. It's probably going to be an urban fantasy this year. I'm not sure it'll be like a full novel. Like I haven't even, as I said, I have a setting and a little world building I've started thinking about, but really that's about it. So next weekend would be more of a trying to plot something before. I'm just going to be pantsing it pretty much this year, which means I'm just going to go with the fly by the seat of my pants kind of writing, except that I have my world pretty much started in my head, but I need more work. So beyond that, nothing else is coming up that I haven't, this week was kind of boring. Anyway, so, which is good. Work was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. So we're all doing well. So anyway, let's just get started with the books. So again, as I said, I finished 4 things. So I'm going to talk about the books I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. And you know that there's a lot of them because if you saw my week 4 rolls, you know that things don't go as well as hoping for Spookoplathon. Anyway, so the first book I finished this week was The Mountain in the Sea by Ray Naylor. Last Sunday, I wasn't even sure I was going to pick this back up again because it is a science fiction, and it's talking about the environment and a lot of other things. This is kind of a near future. I don't know if I would call this like eco sci-fi, but it does have to do a lot with nature, and and also technology and AI and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I was very impressed with the book because I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. There were some things I didn't love about it. Of certain things, but I also actually thought it ended fairly well, except for maybe I think the very tail end. I was like, what? But that was just, it just threw another question in at the end. So we're following Ha, who is a scientist, and she has been asked to come to this archipelago. I think it's in Vietnam, and the company has bought up all the land and these small little islands around it, and have said that nobody can come there. And they've put defenses up around it, so they're protecting it because of the wildlife there. And so there's nobody living there except for a guard and an AI person, or an android. So, but it's very interesting how that works. She's coming in to help because there is something in the water, and it's like the local monster story, and it's them figuring out what actually is going on and dealing with intelligence and talking about animals and how intelligent octopus can be and others, and the differences that animals would have if they live longer or something, like different aspects of that. So there's so much stuff in here. And then there's also this side plots of somebody coming to attack the company that's doing this from the outside. And we're getting people who are with her attached to that or are unfortunately being hurt in the process of that. So there's like this company espionage thing with computer hacking and other kind of hacking kind of thing going on at the same time as we're getting all this science stuff from within on this archipelago kind of thing. So it was a really fascinating book. It's not a fast read. It did take me some time to read this, but I really enjoyed this. It's actually one of the best science fiction I've read in a while because it had all these questions with the science stuff that's from the science fiction stuff, and then taking it that step further of if, you know, these things did happen, you know, what would happen, what would change in our world. And I thought it was really well done overall. Again, not a perfect book. I think it's his debut novel. He's written short stories before. He has a novella, I think, coming out in January called The Tusks of Extinction, which I'm definitely going to get to. I'm going to read. It just sounds fascinating. I think it has to do with mammoths. Anyway, point is I'm really excited to continue reading his stuff. I don't know if I'll go back and read some of his short stories if I can find them, but this novel was really good for like a full debut of a novel, not as a writer, but you know, I overall really enjoyed it. I don't think this is for everybody. I think you definitely have to like the science fiction that has a reality, like it's based in reality, which again, a lot of science fiction is, but then you kind of take those steps forward into the fiction part and it has those questions of what would happen. So I really enjoyed this though. And, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. I've seen a lot of people like get it and buy it, but I haven't seen any reviews on if anybody's actually read this. So if you guys have read this, let me know what you thought. I really enjoyed it overall. And I'm really kind of surprised because partway through, I wasn't sure, you know, if I would read this right away or if I would set it down and come back to it. And I got into it and I had to finish it out. And I really, really enjoyed it. So overall, that was kind of a surprise. And I'm glad I read that. I read that for the prompt for Spookoplathon, which again is put on by Becca in the Books. I'm participating all month. That was a prompt for Mary Shelley or a science fiction novel. So I really, really enjoyed that actually. I did read a kind of witchy manga just to kind of break it up after I finished that. And it's called A Witch's Love at the End of the World by Rujira, I think is how it's said. This was translated, I believe it's from the Japanese, by Eleanor Summers. So it's just a cute, I mean, it's not cute. Okay, it's fine. It's like about a girl who goes to a school of witches, but the witches are kind of against humanity, and they have this school for people who are witches, so that they're going to kind of attack the humans later on for all the stuff that they've done over the years. So there's some good world building in that, but it's really, you know, it's kind of like high school drama at this school, and then it just kind of goes awry with magic and people get sent places into another dimension. Anyway, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know if I'm going to get the second one. I got this from the library. So, I don't know, because it has the one girl who everybody knows is really powerful, and then a new girl who they're not sure what her power is, but as things are starting to come out, and she doesn't want to really be there. She, you know, is kind of there. She's forced to be there kind of thing. So she doesn't want to be there. And she's not with this world. Like, she doesn't understand what's going on, everything. So, and again, I think it's sapphic. But I just didn't get very far because it's not a very long one. So I might pick up the next one if my library has it. It's just not one I'm really looking to continue unless they have it. I'll have to look. I just didn't look yet. But it was fine. It was fine. It was kind of a palette cleanser. And I did get another one that was a witch one. And again, I just picked these up in my library on a whim. But I didn't like that one, so I didn't even finish the first. Like, it just was bizarre. Anyway, so we're not talking about that one. Anyway, and then my buddy read this week, I had Bayou Moon by Alona Andrews. I read this with Tia and all the books. And this is book 2 in the Edge series. So this is one of those series. See, he did come. Anyway, so this one is following characters that are, the Edge is, okay, it's an urban fantasy where the Edge is this place where it's kind of between the broken, which is our world where there is no magic, and there's the weird, which is very magic filled. And the Edge is kind of this in-between space where some people are trapped because they either have just enough magic that they can't go too much into the broken because it hurts and, you know, her dies, or the other way around, they don't have enough magic to go into the weird. So they have this like in between area, and then there are those who can pass between all three. And we're following William, who is sent on kind of an assignment to take out this military group kind of thing that has that he has been trying to get to them for many years due to some things, some really bad things that happened. And we're also following, and that's William, and so they're following, so William is a shifter, and so he's got his own issues because he comes from the weird, and now he's in the edge trying to go after this mastermind, the spider, called Spider. And then Cerise, I think is how I say her name. I don't know how to say the name. Anyway, she lives in a swampy area that's called the Mirror, and her parents have been kidnapped for some reason by this group, and she doesn't know why. And it's her trying to figure out and to keep her family together as they fight this other group. And we don't know why that they're that things are happening, and that they kind of combine, they kind of collide, and they start working together, and then things kind of develop from there. I really enjoyed this one. This is probably the longest Lona Andrews book, and so I really enjoyed that because we got a lot of perspectives. We got both Williams and Cerise's perspective, so that's pretty cool. And then a couple we got the bad guy, we got, you know, some of the other ones, and so it was kind of neat to get some of those perspectives. The thing is that I think it is too long because they did have too many perspectives in here, and then the very end was very rushed. Like there's some things we didn't get to see that they just told us about, and I'm like, what? After all that, you're just going to tell us? So I don't know how the next book is related to this one, in that we follow one of her cousins somehow. I don't know how, but so we're definitely going to continue on to book 3. I think the ending was just a tad rushed, considering how big this book is, how long this book is. I think they could have taken out something else and added more in the end for the ending. I don't know. I mean, again, I like the way it ended, but we just didn't get a whole lot of what I wanted in the end, I guess. I don't know. But it was a fun urban fantasy. I will definitely continue. Okay, it's a 4-book series, so we have now read the first 2 books, and we're going to read book 3, which I think is Fate's Edge. I think is 3, which is next month. So anyway, so I did enjoy that, and thank you to Tia for the buddy read. And then I yesterday finally finished Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I listened to this on audio by Seth Numrich, who did a really good job on it. That was not my problem with this. This is because I was switching between this and other audiobooks I've gotten from the library over the month. I've been really bad about inserting other books. And then also I'm supposed to be reading a Victorian classic for October, and I haven't even gotten to that. Oh, I forgot. This one was for, on Spookopoly, was the Mike Myers or Michael Myers, the read a sequel. So that was a sequel, sorry. This one I read for Stephen King prompt, the first one I got. So this is a portal fantasy, and it's just under 600 pages. So it took a while. And I listened to it on audio from my library. So I was going to return on Monday. So I had to finish it up either yesterday or today. So I got it done yesterday. I think I'm going to agree with a lot of people where I really like the beginning because, again, Stephen King is very good about building lives and building communities of people and making them all very unique and their own. And then it kind of goes into the portal fantasy, following Charlie and him saving an older man, Mr. Bowditch, something like that, from after he fell off a ladder, and he starts taking care of Radar, the dog that Mr. Bowditch has. And it's kind of like how he got learns more about Mr. Bowditch, and then things kind of go from there. And again, this is a portal fantasy, so there's another world. I did like certain things about that, but there was this whole section kind of in the middle to a 3/4 in that I was like, okay, yeah. I've read this kind of thing, not the same as this, but like in other books where, you know, it doesn't go the character's way. Like, I get it, like, like halfway through, I think if he just wrapped it up at the 300 to 350 page thing, I would have loved this book. Like, it would have been a really high, like a high, it might even been a 5 at that point. But the point is, this is still a pretty good 4, you know, maybe 3.75, 4, because it was a really good ride overall. But I just felt, it kind of, the ending, not the ending, but the way to the end was kind of not what I expected. And again, that's good, bad way. But anyway, it wasn't one of my favorites of Stephen King's. I still enjoyed it. I still think it was a fun ride. I still, you know, listened to it when I had a chance, and I wasn't listening to other audiobooks from the library that were due, or that weren't due yet, but I was trying to get them done. And then this one I had to get done, but I'm glad I did. I mean, I have quite a few Stephen King books I have not read. Again, I've read a good portion of Stephen King because I started reading when I was a teenager. And so I've read a lot of the old stuff. A lot of the newer stuff I haven't, like the last 20 years, I haven't read very much of. So there's quite a bit of stuff that I do have on my shelf and stuff I don't, that I'd like to get to. So it was nice to read this one and see again that I do love his world building, and his characters are always phenomenal for me. I always think that he writes even characters I don't like, he writes really well. So anyway, point is, I'm glad I got this done, and as I said, I enjoyed it overall. And I definitely want to read more Stephen King in the coming year. Again, not very many, but at least 1 or 2. Let me move this so we can see the pretty Cooper. Anyway, so that's all the stuff that I finished. So I am right now, let me talk about the audiobook I'm in the middle of right now is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Nasukawa. So I've had this on my shelf probably for over a year or so. I bought it a while ago and I meant to read it a long time ago. This is on my 6 translated works I wanted to read this year, so I'm getting to knock this off. This one I put on my Spookopoly TBR for with the rolls this last week for a black cat, or it had to have a cat on the cover. So I didn't have a black cat on any of my books that I could find, but I did have this orange tabby. So I think that, which is fine. Anyway, so this one, I just started it last night. I'm already like 90 pages in, so it's not going to be a very long one, but I'm glad I did the audiobook just because I did try to read this once before. Like, I read the first chapter and I just kind of was like, what is going on? I mean, I don't know why. It might have just been that day, because I do that a lot of times, is I'll start a book and then I'll go, no, not today. Anyway, so we're following a young student, Rintaro, whose grandfather has just passed away, and he owned a secondhand bookstore. And so Rintaro is dealing with the fact that he's lost his primary guardian, and things are going to change, and he is still in high school, and he might be, or is planning to I think move to an aunt. So he but then one day, a tabby cat shows up in the store and starts talking to him about how to save some books. And so far it's kind of like a little adventure, kind of weird, weird reality kind of thing. And it kind of pulls along one of his classmates as well. So far it's good. As I said, I'm really enjoying it. It's just, I think it's Ken Shiro. I'll have to write down the audiobook narrator, but I'm pretty sure that's who that was. And this was translated from the Japanese by Louise Hill Kawai, which I've read a lot of translations from her through various books. But anyway, I am glad I'm finally getting to this. So again, I do love Japanese literature, especially ones that have to do with the cats, or, that's more the quiet ones. So this one, as I said, this month this is my 3rd one this month. So, and the other 2 were not on my TBR. They're just ones that came in from the library. So, I've gotten a couple translated works, which has been nice, because this year I've neglected my translated works. So, at least I'm getting a couple done. And this was definitely on my TBR for the year to get done. So I am making my progress through that. The other audiobook that I'm going to start... Okay, I need to get Mary Barton done. So this one by Elizabeth Gaskell is my Victober read. Now, I was hoping to get to 2 or 3 Victober reads, but it just is not happening. This book is just not for me. And I don't want to DNF a Gaskell. So I am going to try to power through this week. This is the week I'm going to do it. So I think I have 7 hours left of the audiobook because I am only about 100 pages in. I think I read 1 chapter last week. I haven't touched it at all this last week, or the week before I read 1 chapter. I haven't read any this week. So, because I was trying to finish Fairy Tale. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, I need to listen to this at least an hour a day from today to the Saturday and try to get this done. I just want to get at least 1 Victober read done. I think I made a mistake by trying to pick the books that I hadn't finished yet for Victober. I think that was my mistake. I should have picked other books, newer ones, or ones that I've picked up over the last year that I'm excited about. I was just trying to get to the next Gaskell, and I was trying to finish this one so I could continue on with my reading of all her works, because I do love North and South so much, and I really enjoyed Cranford. But I want to read all the books before I read Wives and Daughters, because that's the last one, and but I've never finished this one. I haven't finished Gothic Tales either, but that's a short story, so that's kind of different. Anyway, but I'll get to that one another time. So anyway, Mary Barton is following John Barton mostly so far, and he is kind of an activist for the working class in this town. I don't know if it's actually Manchester, but it's kind of like based on that, like with the big industries and stuff. And Mary is his daughter, and she has her own romantic issues, but he is more concerned with workers' health and, getting paid, and also, getting help when they're sick. So, anyway, I'm 100 pages in. I think it's like 375 or 380, or maybe it's closer to, it's just under 400. So, I have 300 pages left to read, and I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not. So I'm going to try. This is the week to try. So we're going to try to power through that and try to get at least 1 Victober read, because I feel really bad because I wanted to read at least a couple, and this year it didn't work out. So I will not do this again where I do a book that I'm struggling with to read for Victober. Next time I'll try. I have several books I could have read. I'm so upset with myself, but we're just going to try to get that done. And then the book that I'm kind of struggling with also, but physically, is The Rebel King by Gina L. Maxwell. This is book 2 in the Deviant Kings series. So I read The Dark King last year, and I liked it, but I didn't like the ending. And this one takes place a couple months after that, following the brother of the main guy in that book. And so there's a couple twists in here that I didn't expect. And of course we have some kind of mysteries going on. This is I would put this more on the fantasy romance side, because they're dealing with the Dark Fae who are in charge of their area is Vegas, and so they are, and this family of men are the ones who are in charge, and so they are. And there are some people. Suddenly some people are killing some of the Fae with weapons, with iron weapons. So there's somebody out killing them, and they're trying to figure out who that is and how to stop them. But again, there's the main character in here, Tyrion, is having kind of a romantic relationship with a woman who works in the house, or is a housekeeper, but they've been hot and heavy up until what happens from the end of the last book, I don't want to say, but something happens, and now he has to rethink how to deal with things, but they are still very highly attracted to each other, and then things start happening where she gets in danger and things kind of happen. So again, there's good stuff in here. I like their relationship mostly, but there's something about this, and I don't know, it's not written badly. It has the world building. I just don't think I don't think I always agree with some choices made the characters or in the plot wise what's happening, and maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just I would do it differently, which is bad. I mean, I don't know why this one's bothering me when other ones don't. But anyway, I'm exactly halfway through, so I still have about 170 pages to read. So I'm going to try. If I try it again today, if not, it'll go on my currently reading. It'll just sit there for a while until one day I just feel like reading it. But I don't know. So again, it's a fae romance, and it has some action. It has the sexy times. I mean, there's good stuff in here. It's just, there's, for some reason, it's just not pulling me. Sorry, I've also have hiccups. Sorry. Anyway, so, I don't know. So we'll see if I pick that up again. The books, okay, so then the books that I am planning to pick up next, I'm going to pick up next The Princess of Potential by Delamock, or however I say that, I don't know. Anyway, this is the author of the House Witch trilogy, which I just adore. I love those books. I mean, I'm already looking forward to rereading them. But this takes place 20 years after that. So a lot of the characters that we knew in that, I read the first chapter the other day, just to see if I wanted to get into it, and I did. But then I was trying to finish Fairy Tale and some other things, so I put it down again, but I definitely want to pick this up today. That's why I'm not sure I'm going to read The Rebel King, because I want to read this more than anything. This was this was my Spookopoly The King prompt, so that's why. It's another Stephen King one, which was royalty. So anyway, that's what that one is. This one was one of my one of the chance ones. I can't remember which one right off the top of my head. Which one? Oh, randomized my TBR. So I did my chance cards, and this was the one that got picked. So I do want to get to this. This one is, as I said, it's a fantasy. We're following Elena, and it's, you know, many years later. And I think she's going to have a love story in here. But right now she's just trying to deal with things going on in her kingdom. And I'm so excited for this. Like, I can't explain it. The House Witch was fantastic, about a man who comes to be the chef for the royal family. And he is a house witch. And so he has magic that deals with the home. And it's just, I just love the way that it's just a great trilogy. But this is, again, this is a companion that comes, you know, many years later. And then again, there's another series that just started, which I think comes out, that is supposed to be timeline just after this one, or close to it. So I'm going to read that one too, The Burning Witch. But again, that series isn't part finished. But this was like a standalone in the middle kind of companion. Anyway, but I want to read that next. I do have from the library A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand. I did read a couple of chapters in this a couple days ago. They have really, really short chapters. So I really... I might still try to read this, because it's not on my TBR because it just showed up, and this is a new release. This is actually sanctioned by Shirley Jackson's estate as a sequel to The Haunting at Hill House, or is it Haunting at Hill House? Anyway, the point is that I love that book, and I wanted to try this, even though Elizabeth Hand I've never read anything by. So we'll see, because I got a couple chapters in and I'm kind of iffy on it, so I might pick this one up. I'm not sure. And then just to put on here, because I didn't post anything, I did a poll and these two tied. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this yet. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to read. I might read both of them. I have so many books on the TBR already, so we'll have to see how it goes this week. But I might pick up one or both of these in the next week and a half before the end of October. We will see. I mean, I really want to read both of them soon, so maybe if I read one, you know, at some point, and then the other one I'll have to read in November, but we'll see. We will see. And I just wanted to quickly also mention that when I mentioned the short chapters in the Elizabeth Hand book, that The Mountain in the Sea, what the best part, the greatest part about this was that the chapters were really short. So it just kept moving and moving around and stuff. So I thought that was really good. I forgot to mention that because that was kind of important. It's not that I hate long chapters. I don't particularly like them, but I think a lot of people love short chapters, and The Mountain in the Sea had many, many short chapters. It was great. Anyway, I think that's it. I talked too long again, but I did read some good books. I have a lot of stuff on deck that I want to get to. We'll see what happens. Cooper wants me to go lay on the couch, so we are going to go do this. So tell me what you guys are reading. How are your Spookopoly going? Is your Victober going better than mine? I mean, clearly I made a mistake. I should not have picked books that I was already struggling with, and I should have just picked some newer ones. I feel really bad because I have so many books that I want to read, and but I'm going to get through Mary Barton this week. That's my goal. So we'll see. Anything else that happens, but I'm going to Mary Barton needs to get done so that I can at least say that one's done, even though that's all I'm going to get done probably for October this year. So, which is sad. So anyway, let me know what you're reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Isn't he cute?